to talk about the situation that happened at J. Alexander in Michigan, where the lady was basically asked to give up her seat for two white people. So we're gonna get into that.
So I think the main question that this whole scenario in 2019 brought to mind, our conversation was based around one main question. And the question came for us in the beginning, but then as soon as the gentleman who stood up to intervene for her, I forgot his name right now, but I think it's Mr. Jefferson. But anyway, as soon as he intervened, one of the things he said in the news
Report.
was that the restaurant was known for, don't quote me right here, but for cultivating an atmosphere of racism. So it was already known. So for me, my question is, in 2019, with everything that's going on in the world, why are you taking your money to any establishment, be it a restaurant or anything else, that is known to be racist or to cultivate racism at this time? Your black dollar has power, and where you spend your money is where you are voting with your dollar. You're saying, I agree with what you stand for. I agree with what you do. Not just the food is good, but by me coming in and supporting you, even if I've known that you've been disrespectful to other people, you wasn't disrespectful to me, but it's still to us as a cultural group. Why are you taking your money there? But that's the question we're gonna focus on today.
There's not a lot of black businesses or restaurants out there that are known, or that get the, I want to say, prestige or reputation as the rest of these, as the counterparts. So whether it's a 3-star restaurant, 4-star, whatever, Michelin star restaurant, you don't hear about a lot of black businesses that get that type of respect. So a lot of times people want to go to places that that have the big name and so forth, and it's mainly looked upon, looked down on as far as the black businesses. Like, okay, well, they charge too much, or it's bad service. Like, it's a lot of misrepresentation out there as far as black businesses in the food industry. So I feel like a lot of people go to these places for the prestige and just to want to be a part of something that's important.
Yeah, I know. For me, I think even just right there, I think that's a problem. And that'll be for a later video, a later topic, a topical discussion, because that in itself is an issue that we as a cultural group just always appear to need to be a part of what other cultural groups consider great or wonderful. When we have, even though my husband said there might not be a lot of black-owned restaurants, you probably have a lot of black chefs. Or even if not African American specifically, they can be other nationalities. But whatever restaurant it is that you go to definitely should not be known to cultivate racism. I'm sure there's somebody else's restaurant. If that's a Spanish restaurant, I don't know where it is. I'm sure there's someplace else that you can go, or even, create or start to patronize. If maybe, they need a couple of pointers, talk to the manager, talk to the chef. There has to be something that you could do outside of feeling like you have to compromise your integrity because you want to be a part of something big or something great. Create your own greatness. For me, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. But in that, with the idea of me sitting at a bar and me drinking my beverage, and a bartender comes over and tells me or asks me to give up my seat for anybody. Hold on. First of all, my answer to you is going to be absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, I might get mad and I might leave eventually and never return. But whether I'm just going to leave right then and there, no. Snatch my drink and pour it out. Oh my goodness. At that point, I probably should just go ahead and leave. I probably should just leave. But I'm going to make sure that everybody in my community knows that black dollar, that's gonna tap your finances. You might not think it now, but if I have a cousin that lives in Texas and J. Alexander's exists in Texas, and I have another cousin that exists in whatever other state, and we get on social media or even just send text messages back and forth, and we pass that around our community, we are boycotting you as a cultural group. That being said, I'm also going to put a list of restaurants in the description box that are supporting companies that are supporting people, including the president, who encourages and supports racism in our community. If you want to do that, absolutely fine. Do what you want to do as a company. Do what you want to do as your shareholders, however you want to do that. But our black dollar, when you start counting and looking at how effective our money is in the world around you, realize that you vote with your dollars. Where you spend your money, I don't care if it's nail shops, I don't care what it is. You encourage people to treat you and those that look like you like crap by spending your money in their establishments, expecting like, oh boy, they're not gonna treat me like that because I'll do this and I'll do that. No, you're just as bad as them. Why? Because you're yet still spending your money there and they don't like you. They just might know how to deal with you because they want your money. They're still probably talking about you in your face. My husband and I used to watch this show. We're going to have to find out the name of it for you because it doesn't come on. It only had so many episodes, right? But the show itself...
Specialized in service.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
They basically went around and ranked all the restaurants as far as like service. They had an undercover person come in with a video camera on them, and they basically was seeing who had the best service. And
yeah.
That was like the best restaurant. It was food also too, but they basically wanted to see how they were being served,
how were you treating the customer, and who the customer was. So they said black people. They said it didn't matter, color, race,
how attentive you were,
gender. It didn't matter. Sexual orientation. It didn't matter. They wanted to see the level of quality of service you provided because you're operating in a service industry.
And was it equal to everybody? Did you treat everybody the same, or did you treat
certain people different?
The white person in the suit, did he get better service than the black person in the hoodie?
Yeah, did he have a more conversation? Were you more engaging? Whatever the case may be. The food was good too, but for us, it's always about service. We will never return to a restaurant. Matter of fact, we went to a restaurant, a Brazilian restaurant, and on the ticket, I kid you not, they had about 3 to 4 different varying charges for no apparent reason. And so when I went to the register, to pay, I'm like, what is this? And what is this? And what they did was look, and they were just like, oh, we'll take that off. We'll take that off. And my question was, I know you're going to take it off, but I'm asking, why is it there? Like, why was it there in the beginning? So if somebody else is not paying that kind of attention and they're just oohing and eyeing because somebody is cutting meat off a skew on your plate, then they're being overcharged and they're not even thinking about it. So I'm going, that place right there, for me, that was a wrap. We ain't going back. You ain't getting our money. It's done. Because to me, you lack integrity already. So I'm done. And moving forward, I think that really should be your attitude or the attitude of those in our community, period.
You need to basically support your own, and if you can, put out the word, whether it's blogs, whether it's flyers, and you can volunteer and help, you got to help build up the places in the community, you can't just talk about it, so.
And keep your name, your mouths off of, so that we can grow.
Word of mouth, I mean, You know a place, you know, we go to certain places in Berkeley, and when we, you know, the service we get, we recommend other people. Go
Right,
here, try
because
this place.
they treat you right when you walk in the door, and it's consistent across the cultural board. I don't care. I mean, nobody's asking you about your personal business, but when you walk in, everybody, and you know it's an atmosphere because the person next to you speaks. The person next to you joins into your conversation and all of that. The atmosphere speaks. It doesn't have to be a black-owned business, but it has to be an atmosphere that clearly respects you as an individual and as a cultural group. That's important.
Well, basically, in conclusion, overall, as black people, we got to do better. That's just it. I mean.